A fault is a weakness, a defect, a fracture. Faults divide, tear, and consume. Here in the city of Chester's Chasm, we struggle to maintain that precarious balance over the precipice in the earth, in our lives, and in our hearts. This story is about 4 teenagers with faults of their own.
The fault between my faith and freedom.
The fault between my family and identity.
The fault between my choice and my obligation.
The fault between my life and death.
As these fractures grow, we stand at the edge and ask, what must we sacrifice to sate the void's endless hunger? Is it possible that the answer lies within all our faults? Greetings, and welcome to All Our Faults, Aftershocks, by the Tabletop Talespinners Network. I am your hostess and producer, Mistress Winter. In our final mid-season epilogue, Saline rushes home to confront her mother about all the events that have led up to tonight. But will Saline's search for answers reveal Jessamine's true colors? Content warnings for this episode include xenophobia and fantasy racism. Time codes will be in the show notes. Please enjoy. Aftershocks. Bad Blood. When last we left Saline, she had snatched up Michael's car, which had been left abandoned, and was hurtling back toward town a bit uneasily, considering she's not the most experienced driver. If you would, please roll me a runaway.
I would be happy to do so. That is a 2 double 6s.
Nice!
And runaway is volatile, so that would be a 14. I'm hurtling.
Oh yeah. There is very little traffic, at least on the outskirts this late at night. You only really hit any other drivers when you get into the mall's limits. And even then, the speeds are just a little bit slower so that you are able to avoid any issues whatsoever and pull up nice and neatly in front of your house. You can see from the street that the living room lights are on, very dim, so maybe a table lamp or so. But there doesn't seem to be any activity at the moment.
Truly, I don't even know that I'm gonna fully register that at the moment. I'm gonna park the car, get out, rush inside, see if anybody is in the living room.
Your mom and stepfather, Christopher, they are in the process of piecing together some curio or other that had fallen off a shelf and broken. They've got all the pieces laid out and super glue as they're trying to piece this together. As you rush in and slam the door, both of them jolt and pieces scatter a bit, and whatever they were working on falls apart again.
They're so ordinary. They're so ordinary.
Saline, what are you doing this hour, creating such a racket?
I am standing right in front of the door that I have just slammed. I definitely look a mess. I am covered in grass and dirt stains. Probably have leaves hanging off of me, maybe in my hair. I look hurt. There is my own dried blood on various parts of my skin and clothes. I look like I am in a state. And I would assume there's also a look in my eyes of almost crazed desperation. And I will just kind of stare at my mother. We need to talk.
Jessamine stands up from the couch, concern washing over her face. Saline, what kind of trouble are you getting into? You look afraid. What? Would you come in and sit down?
No, I will not. We need to talk alone.
She looks to Christopher, who's been trying to gather the pieces again unobtrusively. He follows a kind of silent command or request, sets this stuff down, and casually walks out toward the kitchen. All right, you want to sit down?
No, I don't want to sit down, and I will start pacing. Why did you leave him? Why did you take me away from there?
Now, hold on. First, are you okay? Like, do we need to go to the hospital? It looks like you're bleeding.
None of that matters right now. No, I'm not okay. I haven't been okay for a very long time, and you have not cared. So I don't know why you care now.
Well, the sight of blood is something that should be handled immediately. But if you're not going to lose a limb or life, then I suppose we can handle it after whatever you've got on your chest. Why did I leave who? Your dad?
Who else? You left him. You abandoned him. You took me away from that place, and now I can never go back.
There is a look that settles over her as you accuse her of abandoning him. A look of indignation, a little bit of defiance. She straightens up a little bit. I'll have you know that choice wasn't easy for me, and I didn't abandon anybody. If anything, I did it to protect you. We were the ones who were intruding. We were the outsiders. We were pushed out. And if it is as you say, you cannot return there, for whatever reason, all the better. You don't need that in your life. It has only caused you misery and heartache as I see it. Caused us misery and heartache.
You're so wrapped up in your own. You can't even think of what it does to me to be parted from there. And not in some simple, oh, I just wish I would be there. No, it's killing me to not be able to go back. And you don't care.
I do care. I care very much. That's why we left in the first place.
Why? What was so bad about Dad loving you and wanting to give you everything that it made you leave?
Because he couldn't, and he wouldn't. Did you ever wonder why we never were married? Did you ever wonder why we were never a part of the court? Because they didn't want us. Want to know why? Because we were other. We were low class in their eyes. It's like the king trying to marry a peasant. So we were ostracized, marginalized. We were pushed out in favor of a more legitimate potential parent. There were threats. Threats against me, threats against you. And I will not apologize for doing what I thought was right to protect you, even if it meant giving up whatever fantasy you have in your head. Your father never truly supported us anyway. It was within his power to make those naysayers go away, to make us officially family. But he didn't. He was a coward, and that's why I left.
He has never treated me that way. I have never felt lesser in his court. The only place I feel lesser is here.
You feel lesser here?
How could I not? You went and found a normal human man to marry and had your normal human daughter that you both dote on. Meanwhile, something is after me and you don't even believe me. How could I not think that? How could I not feel like that?
I am astounded at how ingrateful you sound right now. That man in there has provided a life for all of us. Not just Ella, not just for me, but for you as well. So for you to cast that aside, out of hand, that's just ingrateful.
That's all you have to say.
I think that about sums it up.
Something is after me, and I've tried to tell you, and you won't listen. And because I feel different here, because whether you like it or not, I'm not mortal. And whether my father likes it or not, I'm not Fey. I'm something different that neither of you can understand. You call me ungrateful?
Can we shut someone down?
Is that cold?
Yes.
Okay. It's a 5.
5 total?
Yeah.
Are you finished?
I don't know. It depends on what you have to say next, I suppose.
In my understanding, the more time that you spend among your own kind, our kind, the less and less of that other heritage you have will present itself. And whatever this thing is that is hunting you will lose interest. Now, I thought that by keeping you in public spaces, being at home, you would be just fine. But of course, being the rebellious child that you are, you had to go and find trouble, didn't you? I can only do so much. Perhaps we just need to keep you home for a while. That way you're protected from whatever it is that your father has gotten you into. And long enough that that other side will have effect on you.
You don't believe me.
I believe you. I mean, clear as day evidence.
You don't care. Your solution is to keep me locked up. Why?
Until you have it out of your system, you are not safe.
It's in my blood. It's part of who I am. What do you mean until it's out of my system?
The reason that you've been feeling all yuck is because the longer you spend here, the more human you become. That was at least one thing that I learned from Freddy.
Still doesn't take away what I am.
Oh, no, I don't suppose it does. But you'll be no longer viable as an heir.
That's what you think this is about?
It is not about claiming some mystical throne.
I don't care about that.
I know you don't. That is abundantly clear. I mean to say that you will not be Fey enough to matter to anything from there.
What if that's not what I want?
Well, then I will have to do what I've always done and do what's best for you.
You have never done what's best for me. All you have ever thought about is yourself and how you feel. You have not listened to me. You have not believed me. And now you're trying to control me.
If I have to.
I can't believe you. I can't believe I've been killing myself over trying to protect you and Ella and Christopher, and this is what you're saying to me.
Boy, you are thick, girl. You do not see how this family protects you. How I have protected you since you were born. There's 2 options. Either you obey me, you stay here until that thing is gone, motioning towards your neck, or you go out and fend for yourself.
You'd kick me out?
Oh, I would not kick you out, no. But by making your own choices, you'd be choosing to leave.
If I don't stay here, trapped and unable to leave, if I don't stay here and bring that thing here, because it already has my scent, not just my face scent, me.
As I said, the longer you go without returning to that place, the less you're gonna stink of it.
I can't believe I actually thought I could talk to you. That you might understand, that as my mother, you might actually care about how I'm feeling.
We've all made our choices, and it doesn't sound like you particularly care for my choices. Care about the sacrifices I made for you. So how am I supposed to care about yours?
Fine. I'll leave, and you can have your perfect life away from anything related to that. But I will stomp off to my room and grab my backpack and shove kind of anything I can find within reach into it. Some clothes, toothbrush, my sketchbook, and I will sling it over my back and walk to the front door.
As you get back downstairs, You see Christopher has returned to the living room and is quietly speaking to your mom. And when he hears you come down, sees you, Saline, if I may, please.
What?
He steps away from your mom and draws your attention aside. I don't know the complete history of your mom's previous relationship or your relationship with your dad. It is not something that your mom has spoken to me about much. So I just have little pieces. Your mom is angry, yes. That is very true. But I don't think that these decisions should be made rashly. What I mean to say is that I will talk to your mom if you still want to stay. I know that I'm not family, at least by your estimation, but I do care. And I've seen enough runaway teens and homeless teens in my line of work that I don't ever want you to join the ranks. It's not easy, and most of the time it's because they don't have anyone to support them. And whatever is going on, you have my support. I just want you to know that.
I'll stay here. You and Bella and Mom are in danger.
Listen, whatever danger you are referring to, I've probably seen it. And I've dealt with similar situations. I just had a teenage boy who just needed to escape this gang situation, and the gang was looking for him. So we had to do some maneuvering, but we were able to get him into a safe home. I hope it helps. Time will tell. But what I infer is that if you're in danger, it is far less danger if you're with others. If you have others that are with you, will support you, help you.
All of this is hitting me. And yes, it's emotional, and I'm definitely feeling the care that he has for me. But there is this bubbling anger that I think would be palpable for him to be able to see. Still at my mom, because he doesn't know. She's never told him. She's never allowed me to speak about it. And it's just so frustrating. And I think I'd just be standing there almost shaking with the rage and frustration and emotion as he continues to speak.
If you will, at least, if you're still determined to go by on your own, you have my number. Please just call me anytime that you need.
I need you to know that I promise you this is something that you have never seen before.
I understand it feels that way, and I'm not going to argue the point with you, because that's silly. But regardless, it is still safer with others than it is to go on your own.
I never said I was going on my own. I just can't stay here.
Will you at least tell me where you're going?
I want to look over at my mom and see if she's paying attention.
She is turned away, but kind of got that, head cocked to one side, or turned to one side, so the ear would be able to pick up what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. I will try and lower my voice enough to where she can't hear me. Don't tell her, except that I will be safe. I'm going to the tattoo shop. Willow and her brother will take me in. They have before. I will be safe.
Okay. Thank you for trusting me.
Look out for Ella. She has some new friends, and I don't think that they really care about her. But she's not going to listen to me. She might listen to you. Just thought you should know.
Thank you. I will speak to her about it when she gets home.
I am then gonna push past him, and without even looking over at my mom, I am going to head to the front door. I will open it, and I will hesitate for just a moment, kind of waiting to see if she'll say anything to me.
There is nothing. She remains where she is, her back to the door.
I will square my shoulders and walk out, slamming the door behind me. I will start walking towards the tattoo shop, and as I do, I'm going to pull out my phone and call Willow.
Willow picks up. Hi, Mommy! To what do I owe the pleasure of your call this evening?
We need a place to stay.
It get that bad?
It got that bad.
Come right over. We'll have the bedroom all set up for you.
Thank you.
Are you hungry? You want to eat? We'll get some pizza or something?
Yeah, pizza sounds great.
Great. We'll order it. It'll be here by the time you get here.
Awesome. I'll be there soon.
See you soon. Mwah.
Mwah.
Though the lateness of the hour and the mundane danger that can pervade the streets at this night, especially in such impoverished areas, you make it to the tattoo parlor unassailed and safe. Willow and Carson will invite you in. The shop is closed at this time of night, so all of their tools and everything have been neatly put away. Place has been cleaned up. There are a couple of pizza boxes that have been delivered and are sitting on the counter from Greasy Gary's Pizza, because it's pretty much the only pizza place in town. They will take you in for the night, and that's where we'll fade out from our scene. This has been a Tabletop Talespinners Network production. Special thanks to TTN director Emma Kocar. This episode starred Abby Marie Carter, who can be found at Abby_Marie_Carter on Instagram. I have been your MC and producer, Mistress Winter. You can find me at gmistresswinter. For more information about TTN and all our faults, check out the link tree in the show notes. Before we part for the summer, I just want to say thank you for listening and for your continued support. It has been a very tumultuous time for my family and me, and I know that my cast members have also had their own trials and tribulations. While our collective dedication and passion for this story brings us back to the recording studio, your love is what makes it worth it. You all mean so much to me and ours. May your hearts have a safe and fun and love-filled summer. We'll see you soon. Love you. This has been a tale from the Tabletop Talespinners Network.